Hello and welcome, I'm Mystical, this is Mystical Gaming, and we're jumping into Watch Your Realms now. Going over the matrix a little bit. It doesn't matter which side we use, whether we use Bulwark, whether we're using Spellbound, it doesn't matter with regards to using Sun Wukong as a tank. Now, you might want to use him on the Spellbound side because he does physical damage, but I mean, he does single target anyway, so he's not going to be fantastically good at it for you either way. So it overly doesn't matter which side of it you use. So we're just going to go through a quick run, and then we'll sort of explain at the end, or show his gear, his awakenings, all that sort of good stuff at the end, and go through them a bit. But before that, we'll just go through the run so we can see what's actually happening, and we'll explain bits as we go through. Okay, so we're all aware of what's actually going on. Now the boss is going to go through his normal routine that he always does, so we all know what's happening with regards to the boss and that sort of thing. Okay, so he goes through his normal cyclist stuff. He would do a decay overload, which is the AoE across the whole battlefield, and then when that one's done, the next attack he does is the focus strike, which is very much down on your tank. And then after that, it's back to the overload decay that we can dispel, that we see going on here, and that debuff there can be dispelled. And then we're back onto the focus strike again, as we all know. Boom, there we are. And then after that, we're into the Pact of Silence, where that's where we start doing our DPS. Okay, so that's what realistically goes on. Now, Sun Wukong, let's get into that. So we've put him down here so we can nicely see what's going on, and we can see him, and it's all nice and clear and that sort of stuff. And it's a good position for him, to be honest. It's quite nice. He's over there, we can see what's happening, and he gets to attack stuff, and that's quite important, that he does get to attack a lot of stuff. Okay, so when we have a look at stuff then, okay, so when we have a look at focus strike, this is what the boss is doing. He locks onto a hero with the highest max HP. So we have to make sure our Sun Wukong has got the highest max HP on the battlefield. After charging for a short period, we get to see that taskbar that the boss has got. That's nice. He deals 1 instance of massive single target damage and inflicts an undispellable meltdown debuff that deals high damage every 2 seconds. Okay, so that's what actually goes on, and we can have a look at all of that good stuff in action. I'll just clear all my stuff out of the way, so I'm good for auto casting, that sort of thing. But that's what happens with regards to the focus strike. Okay, so we go through this cycle here. We see the Pact of Silence. We sorted out who we can auto, so we can hit the auto button and everyone will do it as soon as we want, and timings. Then after that, we're going into our first of the 2 focus strikes. Now, let's have a look and see if we can go. There's a decay overload, so once that's done, the next thing will be he will lock onto a target. We'll see the big arrow come down. Then there'll be a charging period for the taskbar. There's the big arrow pointing down, and then there's the taskbar we can't see, and there, boom, that's the strike there. Look, 83k he's getting hit for, and then there's a dot on him as well that we can't dispel, and you'd have to heal through. Okay, so have a look at this again. Right, decay goes on, everyone. Boom, brilliant. Then he's going to lock on to our target. There we go, he's locked on. Then he does the strike. Boom, there we go. 85k that time of damage. I mean, Sun Wukong's not built to withstand damage, so you can help yourself out of that. Now, if we have a look at this again, couple of things. Firstly, locks onto the hero with the highest max HP on the battlefield. He does, but if there's 2 heroes who are exactly the same HP, if you produce a clone of yourself, for example, he locks onto the latest one. So we want Sun Wukong somewhere where he can attack. Here's ideal. He attacks away. Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. And he's producing those clones. So as long as he has the highest max HP on the battlefield, so will his clone. And his clone is the one that gets targeted. Deals 1 instance of massive single target damage. Boom. Happy days. The clone takes that for us. That's brilliant. And inflicts an undispellable meltdown that deals high damage every 2 seconds. Right. Okay then. What does all that mean? Well, if we have a look at some stuff, so we can have a look. I've done some checks on some other heroes about the place. Okay, so we can have a look at those. I did a Broknir, so I did Broknir on here, and this is what happened with him. He took a 76k hit, for want of a better description, and he was taking dot damage of 35k. Now, you can mitigate gate against that. Okay, he's not the ideal tank. I did it with Cyrus. Now he took the bulk of the damage by his skeletal warrior, took that, so he ended up only taking, it appeared, 27k, and then he was taking dots of 13k, but that's still something you've got to heal past. And if you miss with the skeletal warrior, then you've got that going on as well. Now what happens when you get hit, you also get this dot put on you. Okay, meltdown deals continuous damage. That's the dot damage. Now it goes on for 10 seconds and ticks every 2 seconds. So in Brokenier's case, he was getting hit for 35k every 2 seconds. It was an absolute disaster. But it's not just that. Okay, so remember, the boss also does the decay as well, so you can have both of these debuffs on you working along at the same time, which is what we entirely avoid with Sun Wukong. All of that additional healing to heal over the meltdown, you haven't got to worry about. You haven't got to worry about the meltdown and the other dot going on there at the same time. You haven't got to worry about all that sort of stuff. The clone just dies, and then he produces another one on his fourth basic attack, I think it is, something like that, isn't it? So there's plenty of clones there. As long as he's attacking, that is the only thing. If you place him in the middle, I don't think he would produce a clone, so you would struggle there as well. Now, he's got to have the highest max HP, as we know. Now, that doesn't cause that much of an issue, because the rest of them are attack-based units anyway, so I'm not using any HP-based attacking units, so that's not something I need to worry about. I'm not saving that. And do a lot better before we register anything with the guild. And the healers we're using are both attack-based healers. If we have a look on for the Bulwark team, both the healers there were attack-based healers, so we don't have to worry about their HP being too big either. So it's only Sun Wukong's that we have to worry about. And if we have a look, he's not completely geared up either. So if we jump in, and we're going to adjust the team. Now, something I want you to notice, there's our Sun Wukong there. The gear that he hasn't got, as you can see now, is the artifact he's missing. Okay, so let's jump into him. Here is the Sun Wukong we were using. Level 50 of 50. That's the attributes done. Promotions, as we can see, we have done 0 promotions for him. Doesn't need any. Okay. Gearing wise, now we have put gear on him. We have gone straight in with a glacial set, and it's HP percent all the way down through it. Okay, so be aware of that. Okay, ups his attack a bit, but I mean, other than that, it's just HP percent. And then we've got the Immortal Warrior on the other side, giving a boost to his HP as well. Skills wise, haven't touched his skills. Okay, so we haven't done any of those. And Awakenings, he is a 0. That is all you need. And Artifact, we do not have one on. Now he goes all the way to the end. It's easy enough to heal through everything because there's not a lot of healing to be done on him, just for him being the tank. Okay, so if you think you do not have a tank for Matrix, then you absolutely do. If you've got Sun Wukong, definitely he could be one of your tanks in either point that you put him in. I think he's very viable for this. It frees you up to do a lot of other stuff. Okay, so if you're struggling for tanks, definite consideration should be for your Sun Wukong. Okay, absolutely, you can use him for your tank. Now, I have tried it in the other phase. It works perfectly well in the other phase as well, but most people are, or a lot of people are using Northerner teams, and with that is your Adrian, and that comes with an HP based attacking unit, so you could struggle to make him more HP based there. Okay, but essentially he works fine as a tank as long as you've got him somewhere attacking. The clones take the hit. There's no debuff to go on there that can't be taken off, undispellable debuff. So absolutely fantastic. Now, if you want more content like this, feel free to put it out in the comments below. More than happy to try and help out people. But that's it from me. Hope you found this interesting and helpful. Hope you get your Sun Wukongs out, because he's useful again in Matrix as well. Just not as a DPS, just for those clones taking the hit for you. Okay, right. Thank you very much for your time. Did I come out with this by myself? Absolutely, I did not. There were plenty of other bigger brains behind the scenes. I noticed it first when I looked at the global leaderboard, and on Forerunner there was someone called Slap Bunny, and I had a look at his team, and he was using Sun Wukong. I thought that's odd. And then I had a look into it and thought, oh yes, there you go, that's why he's using him. That made sense. And then I looked to see if there's any other videos about, and then Chandy has done a video on it as well. So I'll put a link to his video down below as well, and you can see his run through, does a takeover with someone's account as well. And he's used Sun Wukong in the takeover as well. All right, so there you go. Thank you very much for your time. Do the old thumbs up, like, subscribe, helps me out massively, and I'll see you all in a video again soon. Cheers, goodbye.